Here we are.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, and we're here with Mike Kelly, Real Estate Jerky Daily. So you missed yesterday. Sorry about you having to put your dog down. I know how that is because our dog passed on Friday morning, and I get woken up at 5 a.m. and she passed. And I was like, fuck, it's the one day I'm sleeping in.
Not anymore. Sorry about your loss as well.
No, thanks. But that's one thing about dogs. They're not like spouses. Thank God you don't have to replace them every 7 years. Hopefully
Spouses
not every
dogs.
Well, no, your dog is about 7 to 11 years, depending on the breed.
And we were lucky to have 13, and we figured we would have more, but
wow, that's a long time to have more.
Yeah.
All right. The question is, do you replace them or not? So you have more freedom.
I don't know. Our first schnauzer lived a whole 10 years, but he suffered from a pretty major thing. We had to feed him standing up. We had megasophagus, and the vet was like, I can't believe he lived 10 years. So usually they're 2. And it was 10 years before we got Finn. And then we've had him for 13. You miss that little dirt bag.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's like Annabelle. I miss, except for the barking and the craziness and all that stuff, because she lived way past she should have. And I told that same thing to Marcia. I said, your dog's lucky that you spent the amount of money you spent on finding out what was wrong with her, because anybody else would have put her down in the first few months.
Yeah.
And not done that. So you saved her there, and then, saved her twice. And then she was supposed to be euthanized because of her issues. And then all of a sudden she's like, hell, I ain't going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
And she lived like another 3 years after that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yes. And good. You get that time with a dog.
Yeah.
We're going to pet that dog.
All right. So that's kind of what's going on with me.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go live there. I forgot to go live there.
Uh-oh.
No, on LinkedIn. Yeah. On LinkedIn, Instagram.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those things. It's going to happen.
So here we are.
All right. So
the world is going topsy-turvy again.
Well,
so
what's it doing? It's all about the midnight tonight, right? Whether or not they shut down the government.
Yeah. And I'm almost like,
shut it down. It's the only way they're going to get rid of all those apartments, because when they lay off, they don't have to hire them back.
Exactly.
So with Trump's like, I bet you all the Democrats are like, okay, we're going to fight this thing and let them lay off everybody.
Yeah, and say it's a Republican's fault.
Exactly.
But we want you to spend $1 trillion on illegal immigrants, healthcare.
Right. Well, how about this? Why don't we take care of all the homeless veterans and all the veterans first,
right?
Who allow us to do everything we can and the freedoms we have today, then work on the rest of the people after we've taken care of our people.
Know what? Have them come in legally. I don't have a problem with immigration. Just come in legally, and then we don't spend more on them than we spend on our own people.
Correct. All right. What do we got going on here? Yesterday, I told everybody else our inventory is down. So nationwide inventory is 862,575. That's a negative 308 this week.
A negative
of 308. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I guess they didn't list 100 properties in Florida. They just lost the 59 properties. Yeah, they just started delisting them. Well, you also got to look at some places. It's wintertime and hurricane, and there's that hurricane that's hitting hard too. Why do you want to move somewhere where there's a hurricane? And I'm not talking about old people.
Yeah, hurricane. The people, I think people that live there just are used to it. It's like us. Yeah,
used to what? Getting everything destroyed? We don't get everything destroyed.
No, we don't. We have a little earthquake.
When's the last time any dwelling in Modesto got ruined from an earthquake?
I don't think ever.
Well, I think probably
maybe a long
San Francisco one.
Yeah, but
back in
maybe some cracks
1910 or whenever that was.
I don't even think we had properties fall off their foundation.
No, it's not like the Northridge one when that took out Northridge and the apartment complex at 3 stories,
right?
And then throughout the whole area, people had cracked this, cracked that, and everything else. But I mean, it's nothing. We have none of those issues. And when was the last time we had a major earthquake here in California?
It's been a while, so there's probably one coming.
Was that it? Northridge?
Northridge is probably the last one.
All right. Well, let's go. So that's what we're looking at there. Right now, the bond market is not doing majorly.
Where's
the rates are up? Are better by 6 basis points, and the 10-year sitting at 4.13. It opened at 4.1387, so it's kind of sitting at the same spot.
Okay.
The low today was 4.10. It's just this whole thing with the government,
Right.
and nobody knows what's going on, and nobody knows what's going on with the tariffs because it's got to come out of the courts.
Yep.
And here's the other thing. So jolts today, the news for this week. So I remember what it is. Wednesday, ADP employment, mortgage applications, initial jobless claims. Friday is the BLS jobs report, and today was jolts, the report, and then FHFA and Case-Shiller numbers. So we'll go over that. So the Labor Department latest jolts report showed 7.227 million job openings in August, edging the expectation of 7.2 million and slightly higher than July's revised figure of 7.208 million. This hints that there's still resilience in the labor market, which could complicate Fed's path to cutting rates in the future. Here's my problem with any of that. I think Fed's going to cut rates, and the long term are going to go up. The rates are going to continue to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I think our economy. I was talking to somebody else. Who was I talking? Oh, I was talking to Brian earlier this weekend. Galkey, and we were talking about. I feel that the reason is because the economy is going to take off after this tariff thing is resolved. It's going to take off,
right?
And I think it's going to make a huge change. And he's like, I know so many people who are delinquent on credit cards and all that. I didn't say it's horrible now. I just said it's going to get better,
right?
That's what I see. And if the market's doing so well, right? I mean,
interest rates are going to stay where they are,
and employment and everything. Interest rates are not going to get better because we need doom and gloom for better or no debt,
right?
So the only way they can do it is move debt around somehow.
Okay, take mine, move it around.
I can't tell you what the Dow's doing because it's not on the screen over there. All right. So we have home price index that we're out today. The FHFA house price index for July tracks single family home prices on conforming loan limits dipped 1/10 in July, and annual appreciation was revised down from 2.7% to 2.3%. Still making money.
The Dow's down 141.
Thank you. 141.
Yeah.
All right. This
136.
Yeah, this marks a notable slowdown in the price growth area that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Case-Shiller home price index, this is a national index covering 9 census division, reported a 1.7% gain in July, down for 1.9% in June. That's all homes, right? Everything. The softening trend suggests home values are stabilizing, but market conditions still vary widely. Here's what I'm looking at. I know I read that, but we're in the horrible housing to what we're used to, right? We're not in 2005, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But what we've been through with super high interest rates and super high the fact that we're still appreciating, I know they're
pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and I know in some markets it's not, because people are like, I gotta sell, I gotta get out of here. But if you didn't have to sell, you could wait it out or take it off the market.
Well, and I've seen locally an increase in activity over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I see it because rates improve. This is what I talked about yesterday. You weren't here, but the relationship between the 10-year and that difference in that amount to the rate, and usually is 1.6 to 1.8% added to that, 160 basis points, 180 basis points to the 10-year. So is normal.
Okay.
We've been at 310 basis points higher. So typically we would be right now at 7.23 as an interest rate. That's how we've been over that's that premium that was built into that.
Right.
That's dropped down to 2.1.
Oh.
So if you add 2.1, so right now we're sitting at 6.23, which is pretty close to where we're at. So the difference is, even though the bond isn't as low as it was in last year in September, and we had much lower rates, well, we don't have that premium. We got 1 point of 100 basis points gone in premium that is making the rates look decent. I mean, I looked at some rates yesterday and I was pleasantly surprised.
Did you go, huh?
Yeah, I did, because I saw a VA in the 5s and and purchase, and I'm not gonna points, whatever. I'm just saying, when I'm looking at things and what I'm used to, with the first time I ran this guy stuff, it was in the higher to low 6s, and then now it's a little bit lower than that. So I'm like, okay, I can see the difference in the spread being there.
Right.
And that spread was there because if you're going to buy a loan that's going to get paid off, you need to have a premium to buy that loan, or nothing gets sold and
to
nothing
protect
changed.
your investment.
Well, nobody would be buying the bonds, and no loan would get done.
Right.
This is not It's a Wonderful Life, and George Bailey's running Bailey Loans and whatever, and they're the ones giving you the money because all the depositors. That's not how it works anymore.
No, and it's been that way for a long time.
Yes, it has, but people think it's still that way.
No, you're not. Nope, it's not. You got news for them.
Yeah, I already said it. Is that Confidence? It's over here. I think it's easier to read over here. Oh, they don't have it over here. Jolt and Case-Shiller, whatever. I could have swore. Oh, that was an article I read. It's talking about building borrower confidence in 2025.
Yeah.
There's a new report from Service Links. 2025 state of home buying shows buyers want more control, speed, and transparency. I think they always wanted that. Here are 3 top ways lenders can build trust in today's home buyers. Tech forward experience looks like real-time appraisal scheduling. What? These are e-closing. This is the thing I love about refinances right now is the virtual signing we can do in California. Yeah, that we can do in California. I had some clients. I set it all up for them on Saturday, and before I even had my coffee, they were done. And I'm like, "How'd it go?" "Oh, so easy and fast." Yeah, and that's the one thing they don't mess around.
Love that.
They don't mess around on the signing, where a lot of the signers and when you go to an appointment here, look, this document is the blah 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 blah. Sign it.
Yep.
But they take all the time reading the title,
because we want to make sure that our clients know what they're signing, but at the same time they do, don't they?
Yeah, I know they're okay. They can read. You turn it to them, they still read it again. But I always tell my clients, you control the speed.
Yeah.
If they're not giving you this stuff fast enough, you've seen it before, because these are standard loan documents. There's nothing we can slide in, and now the loan is owned by Ed.
Parcaut.com.
You own the loan, but I own the house. There's none of those things you can slide in anymore.
Right.
So flexible signing options, what we just talked about. Education over sales. The big thing is educate, give away stuff, so much stuff for free. Give them all this stuff so that they can and want to work with you. That's the biggest thing I took away from the growth hacking last week, is to give everything away for free.
What's everything?
Everything that you have and you offer. Don't charge people for things. Just give it to them. Here's this, here's that, whatever.
It still blows me away. I'll see contracts come across and the buyer is paying a transaction fee. I guess it's supposed to be that you can only charge a commission. Now the buyer's not really paying, because we're still doing things the old way, where the seller's paying the commission. I guess the buyer can charge a transaction fee, but why are you charging your buyer a transaction fee?
I
just think it's ridiculous.
It's like I don't charge a processing fee or underwriting fee.
Exactly. I mean, it's a way to make a little bit more
still
money.
There, but somebody's paying for it.
But are you really taking care of your buyer?
I've seen that many times on.
And I don't think they are. I don't think they're taking care of their buyer. A lot of times
it doesn't help the buyer; it helps you.
It just takes the expense that you pay your transaction coordinator, which I pay, and offsets it to the buyer. I for one, old school, and I hate saying old school, but I'm freaking old. I think it's wrong.
Well, here my question is: why is the buyer paying for anything that doesn't help them?
Right.
It doesn't help them.
No,
it helps you to make your processes easier, so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, so you can spend more time at P. Wexford's, and I spend more time at P. Wexford's.
That's not why you do it, to make sure the contract's done right and everything else. But why is this? This is like
realtor. You have a job, and your job is to take care of your client and to do the things that the realtor is supposed to do. Not charge the buyer for your transaction coordinator or your processor to move paper around.
Right. And that's the same thing on our side. We can charge process and we can charge underwriting, but I try to cover it so we don't have to. It's just a cost that I look at and make sure that it's covered so they don't have to pay it.
Right.
It's enough already getting into the transaction with their impound account and the escrow stuff and all that stuff. Why do I want to nickel and dime them?
Right. I think it's kind of an old school way of thinking, probably from the leftover from the 90s. When the Tom Ferries and the Mike Ferries and the Brian Buffinis were saying, you charge your client a transaction fee so you can go out and do what you're supposed to be doing. I never thought it was right.
Well, yeah, that's one more thing.
Yep.
Let's see here. Consumer confidence report, which fell from 97.8 to 94.2. This is the weakest one in a long time. And the data was 26.9% of consumers said jobs were plentiful, down from 30.2% in August. Sounds like the Democratic Party. 19.1% of consumers said jobs were hard to get, unchanged from last month. 16.1% of consumers expect more jobs to be available, down from 17.9%. Sounds like your realtor thing that you show on the state numbers.
Exactly.
25.6% anticipate fewer jobs, down from 25.9%. So if you look at this, only 26%. Hard to get jobs, or expect more jobs. So you're figuring almost 40% thinks one way and 40% thinks the other way of the jobs, whether it's
that's almost
plentiful.
50-50.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, that's what took me a second ago. That's
Yeah.
pretty close to 50-50, but I don't want to say that. And then it looks like Apartment List reported that rental prices fell another 0.4 in September, down 0.8 year over year. Rental prices should continue to trend lower, as they always do at this time of the year.
And these are national numbers.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the reason that's good is because guess what they use in the inflation report?
Right. Rental prices.
Not the real thing, the housing. They should be using housing.
Yeah.
But we took that out a long time ago because that was too expensive. There was one more thing I want to talk about. Did you know they're trying to separate the MLS away from the Realtor Association?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I breezed over that. I thought, I'll get into this a little bit more in depth
tomorrow, but yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So that's all I got to say is interesting.
Yeah. So what people don't understand was people ask us how, the costs of doing loans and everything else. Did you know the origination cost, that what it costs us as a person and the lender to do a loan is about $12,500 per loan? Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's why they're trying to retain the business longer, right? The whole thing about making sure that you stay in that loan as long as possible so they can get their money back. Yeah. That's a lot of money. I thought it'd be cheaper. Yeah.
I thought it would be cheaper as well. Have you heard about SB 771?
No.
What our delicious little governor wants to do?
Is that the 50? Not the 50?
No, you got to vote no on 50.
Oh, really? Because AOC said I should vote yes.
Oh, yeah, because she's the brightest bulb in the box.
It's funny how they put her there because they think she's attractive, and people are going,
yeah, attractive for a horse. 771. So if you say something on the internet that the California government doesn't agree with, they can fine you up to $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. Tell me. And so they're
trying to get rid of freedom of speech.
Yeah, censorship in
California
in the rawest form.
Guess how many people leave the state when that happens?
Yeah,
I'll be one of them.
After they're screaming censorship because Jimmy Kimmel's ratings were so bad and he said something so stupid that they let him go, and now he's back, I guess.
Yeah, well, the difference is, here's the thing: he lost $70 million of advertising before that happened.
Right.
So what I think they're doing, bring him back and just let them completely fail on their own, and then that way we can get rid of the rest of them, because that show doesn't work anymore.
No.
I mean, not just him, but that whole
the late night shows don't work anymore.
How many people stay up late anymore at 11 o'clock to watch those shows?
Not me.
No, not me either.
No, and it's all bullshit anyway. I mean, it's one person's opinion and it's very slanted. I love what Carson said was, why would I do that? Why would I take a stance on something and upset half my audience or more than half my audience?
That's what Shaq said. Shaq said Republicans buy tennis shoes too.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not there to form opinions and to sway people. You're there to entertain. And I don't find that entertaining anymore.
They lost that whole thing with the whole Trump deranged stuff. And,
yeah,
the whole thing is Trump is a narcissist. So are these people. Yep. And Trump just irritates the heck out of narcissists, because that's how narcissists always mess up another narcissist's day. And he has no problem with me because I don't really care about overall what he does, except for some of this. I mean, there's overall, I do care, but not like I'm going to get out and sign and jump around.
You ever see the movie The King's Speech?
No.
Well, I wish Trump would take some classes in learning how to orate far better than he does. He gets off on a tangent. It's the best thing ever. It's this, it's that. He just irritates the shit out of me when he talks.
You know what I do? I just don't listen.
Yeah. But sometimes, you want to find out what's going on.
I just wait for the crib notes.
There you go.
Of it.
Yeah. I think he's his own worst enemy.
Yeah. Well, the problem with California is we really need some things changed here, and unfortunately, we really need some things changed here, and I don't know if it's going to happen. I was hoping with the LA fires that we'd get more to the red, just normal middle round. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, just as long as we're in the middle.
Yeah.
And no so extreme, ridiculous stuff like that. That bill
seems to be an increase in registered Republicans in California.
Who wrote that bill?
SB 771. I don't know. I just saw the SB 771, read it real quick, shot out a question to a buddy of mine. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. I think he's embarrassed, and
why he's a Democrat.
I'll have to look it up and read it some more. Yeah, no, he's a Republican, but to be a Republican in California is still a struggle.
No, it's not a struggle. It's just we put up with the problem. It was Schwarzenegger's problem.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's just what people understand. This whole 50 we talked about before. This wasn't Trump telling them to do it. It was a court telling them to do it in Texas. But they're using the lies that they use to push these things is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the problem is the people who are going to come out and vote are the ones who believe it.
Well,
unfortunately, the ones who don't, well, why am I going to go? It's not going to matter.
Right.
I mean, we're going to have 7% show up for the election.
I read that yesterday too. Yeah, because it's a special election.
Right.
People don't give a shit about
on regular elections or the primary in between a normal election. I mean, we're lucky in Stanislaus County we get 27 to 30% show up. On a regular election, we're lucky to get 58%.
Yeah. True.
All right, everybody. Sorry I was on rant today.
Well, me too. Everybody make a great day. Go out, change the world.
Yes. There's so many things you can do. Yep. If you don't like this market, get into vibe coding. It's easy. All right. Make it a great day.
Bye, kids.
All right. Bye.